program. Anyway, that was a bit of an aside. To get back here, 5th of April, I write to Marcella. Now, once again, I'm writing in response to being given this document here, which tells me nothing other than that I already know. It didn't give me any of the marks for the other candidates that were involved. So what I point out in this here is that I had specifically previously requested all personal details of all other candidates to be redacted. But in fact, what was redacted was everything in relation to all of these. So at this stage I decided I needed to get to a more formal forensic communication with whoever I was dealing with, because we're starting to go around in ever increasing circles which inevitably deplete the individual. Remember, this is like a David Goliath. I'm a person of limited resources, limited both intellectual resource capacity, etc. And again, I think it's really important. I think from the outset I wanted to make clear to these people, the CSO's representatives and no one at higher levels have ever come back and decided to redefine this, have defined me as displaying average communication skills during interview. Now, by extension, unless I had a particularly bad interview or forgot to take some type of drugs that day, and just for the record, I don't do drugs, I don't do suppressants or antidepressants, or I don't, not because I'm a good guy, just I don't have that need. I haven't had it and don't have that need. But I've said, if I'm to be considered as having these average communication skills, I'm now trying to operate in an opaque swamp of non-communication, trying to deal with these people. We're already 32 pages into communication. I'm writing these long letters trying to get very simple answers that could have been answered if they're very short. Let me go back to it again. The first email, 24th of February, 2 lines. With reference to my email below, please email my return all links and references as to my right to appeal this decision and my right to information re my evaluation, scoring matrix, etc. If that information, very simple request, send me the links to the appeals, which was sent to me, I think again sometime 31st of March, I think may have been sent 5 weeks later, and that what are my rights in relation to the scoring matrix process? What am I entitled to? So that somebody must have worked that at this stage. I mean, they're dealing with 4,600 interviews, 9,000 interviews, 4,600 jobs, 9 to 10,000 interviews, and they've been doing this every 5 years, and they're part of a whole public service appointments process. So somebody should have really worked out some details. So I simply should have been able to press the button and get the answer immediately. Whereas now, some months later in April, I'm still trying to get access to information, and I'm going around in circles. So the stuff becomes a bit tense at this stage, and please understand why, because we need to move on. We need to get to a point of definition, because everybody else has been paid loads of money, taxpayers' money, to flute around effectively, and to someone on the radio recently talked about this idea of constructive ambiguity. It was in relation to the preparation of answers to Doyle questions, parliamentary questions, and I really just was left wondering about what's the difference between constructive ambiguity, which a friend of mine would argue was a necessary ingredient in moving the Northern Ireland peace process forward, and in regards to that, yes, I think that's worthy for consideration. What I'm experiencing here is destructive ambiguity and unnecessary equivocation and obfuscation at every level. Look, I do not accept that anybody at the pay levels of a higher executive officer, supported by her manager at assistant principal level and the various other people at senior level above those, including the Director General, who, as I will show later on, was made personally cognizant of all this material and has done nothing. When I say done nothing, he has failed to get out in front of this process, despite the fact that it's becoming worse and worse. So I simply refuse to accept that these people don't understand the questions that they're being asked. And I will, in some of the evidence that I'll analyse and on other videos associated with the conversations I had with other people, I think that'll be borne out in very explicit detail. So essentially I said, I formally demand that you confirm by return email without any delay specifically whether you personally carried out the redactions or was this carried out by an official at your request.